Uh. Yo, here we go. Not Kendrick Lamar, but it's E complete, and I can spit it so far. The lyrical star, and can't you see? It's episode 299, and here I go, B. Miss Loretta, don't you know? She's got the Sharing Group, the host of the podcast show. So tonight we're talking about it. Don't you understand? We can't hide and shout it. Nah, we gotta open up and scream. Black spiritual people and our team, we need to jump up and speak the truth and hopefully inspire the youth. Yeah, tonight I want you to see we talk about something deep on Knowledge is Love, B. Miss Loretta, she's here, you know, Cancer Sun and Gemini rising, yo. She's the messenger that brings it down. Quantum healing energy and getting down. Yeah, QHHT, practitioner. And here we go, B. Now it's time for me to start the show. Knowledge is love. So here we go. Ooh, ooh! What's up, y'all? It's Eric Taylor, Big E Astrology.
Oh my
God.
God.
You got to have some fun. And I am so excited for my returning guest. If y'all missed her during the summer, you missed the treat. And I will put that in the description down below so y'all can go watch that. But tonight, I have with me quantum QHHT practitioner and the host of the Loretta Sharing Group Podcast here on YouTube. So you better subscribe and go check it out. Miss Loretta, how are you today, my friend?
Hi. Hey, everyone. I'm excited. So Eric didn't let me know he was doing a little freestyle. I would have came up with something. But next time.
Oh, okay. You didn't tell me. Did you spit some bars now?
I don't, but I can. We are multi-talented people, right?
Oh, listen, my friend. This is such an honor and a pleasure. And, you know, when I was thinking about doing kind of this special thing for Black History Month, which, you know, for us Black folks, right? Black History Month is kind of like yay and nay, because we don't want to be regulated to a month, the coldest, darkest, shortest month at that. But at the same time, I think it is an opportunity to celebrate and also educate, because whether it's Black history that's not properly taught in our schools, but I think for tonight, and this is why I thought immediately about you, about Black voices in spiritual spaces and being ready and willing and open to share their stories, their spiritual gifts and their truths. I was like, I got to have Loretta. Now, I want you to share with the audience sort of your journey into this kind of new spiritual space, and what brought you here and what got you to even host a podcast.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for the invitation. It's always a pleasure and so much fun, Eric. Your energy is fantastic. It's so beautiful. So thank you for the opportunity to join the show. Yes. How I got into the spiritual space, y'all. We keeping it 100 tonight. Okay. Regular old pain and suffering, y'all. I was in a tumultuous marriage. So we're gonna be talking about a lot of things tonight, and to the point where I was, you know, if you're in a space, you're isolated, and I was with a person who did not like himself, right? And so he was, you know, always saying critical things to me, divorce, custody battle, you know, all that, and it just took a toll. And I got into this severe depression. And I got to a point, I was like, you know what? I'm not having fun. I don't really want to do this, God. Like, I don't really want to do this. This is not fun for me. And so I don't know if I just searched up on YouTube what happens if you die. You know, I'm trying not to use triggering words.
Wait. What do the young folks say? Unalive?
Unalive. right? I must have searched something up, and I started getting these near death experience accounts on you, like start looking at them, and
Oh.
I became addicted to them, and I didn't realize that I was searching. And I
Mm.
don't know what I was searching for, but it's the only thing that stimulated me. It's the only thing that I did that I didn't have to do. You know how you have to get up, got to get the kids ready for school, gotta, get ready for work. It was the only thing that I did outside of what I have to do. And one lady who unalived herself and was resuscitated very matter of factly said, we are spiritual beings. We reincarnate with our family, our spiritual families over and over again, and we assign roles to each other. And I
Mm.
was like, it was like I was in a desert and somebody had given me an ice cold glass of spring water, y'all.
Wow.
I soaked it up. It was what I was looking for. And so that's kind of how I got into this spiritual space. And so, yeah, I do have a YouTube podcast. I invite not only people who have died and come back, but I invite all spiritual experiencers to join the show. And we're going to talk about that, what those spiritual experiences look like. This right here tonight, y'all, is a big fat invitation
Mm.
to everyone that Eric has a podcast that's a safe space to share your experiences, and I have a podcast that's a safe space to share my experiences, for you all to share your experiences on my platform, so that we can get our voices out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of where I came and how I'm here.
Wow.
Yeah,
And see, and that's so deep and so beautiful because you said something that's so key, right? It was kind of all birth from turmoil and pain. And I
yeah,
think for most of us, we don't realize how important it is to search for that hope, the glimmer of sunshine, right? I'm pretty
yeah,
optimistic. I always say the sun's going to shine tomorrow. And for you, being the mother and having your kids and going through all that, I applaud and champion you because I know that it wasn't easy. I know from our first, podcast interview and from me being on your podcast that,
mhm,
sometimes these stories do end up in a tragic way,
yeah.
And so I want you to share, because you're so good at this, right? By the way, Miss Loretta is a Cancer Sun, a Gemini rising, and I forgot. Are you a Taurus moon, right?
I think so.
Yeah, the Taurus moon, I believe, in the 12th house. So, and you got Mercury on the ascendant, and so I feel that and see that from you because you're such a great orator and communicator. And I want you to kind of share to those single mothers and those women out there who may be in challenging relationships, what's on the other side of
Yeah.
that pain?
Oh man, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful prompt for me to talk about. So I think the biggest thing for tonight is really to show up for one another, and always to show up for one another. A lot of when I was going through what I was going through, number one, I didn't want to stress out my family, right? I had brothers that was like, what, where he at? So I couldn't do that, right? I couldn't do that.
You
Uh,
couldn't unleash the dogs on them.
I couldn't do that, right? And I did not, I didn't want to stress them out. But when I started to have this talk about it, y'all, I'm very transparent parent about this. When I started to have those thoughts, there was no one that I really felt like I could come and talk to. We are in a culture where if someone expresses that, then it's like, oh, let's get them locked up. Let's get them in a white room,
Yeah.
with no sheets. That is not loving, right? It's important that we create a space that is approachable, right? Where people are comfortable speaking things that nobody talks about. Unfortunately, with situations like that, you don't know about it until it's already done, right?
Mm.
But just normalizing these conversations so that people can feel safe to share their pain, right? In terms of like, okay, so we all know, there's a whole list of things that a certain personality will do in a relationship to get that person to believe that they're worthless, right?
Although
Right.
you're talking about those narcissists.
There you go. I was trying to avoid that word, but yeah, absolutely.
Oh, listen, you don't need to avoid it.
Where they love bomb, that what looks like charming is actually controlling, right? Um, and so there's behaviors that go along over a long period of time, and by the time the person realizes they are in an abusive relationship, they are isolated from family, right? They might have a kid or two, right? It may not be employed. There's a myriad of circumstances that create that situation. And so any mothers or single women, if you find that you're in that situation, first of all, don't isolate yourself. Talk to your friends, talk to your family. Develop an exit plan. Develop a safety exit plan to get out of that situation. um, and definitely rely on God. God is there. It feels like you are alone. That was my belief system
Mm.
when I was in that situation. I thought I was alone, but you're not. You are surrounded by beautiful beings, y'all. Beautiful beings who love you and who have known you for many lifetimes. And if you are in a challenging situation, it is so that you can be a blessing to yourself and others. If it were not for that situation, y'all, I would be shallow. I would have no wisdom. Okay. I might have gotten here, but it would have taken me a lot longer. If you're in the darkness, understand that you have crafted this up on a certain level. And when you get on the other side of it, you are going to be powerful beings. Trust me on that. Trust me on that.
I love that, and that's so
Yeah.
true. And I want to have you go to the chat so we can say hello to everybody here and see who's
Yeah.
in the room. I think we got some comments, maybe a few questions and stuff, and see
So
who.
I see Sabali Pure. That's a pretty name.
Yeah, that's actually my wife. That's her
Oh,
business. Yeah,
okay.
Sabale Pure. Yeah.
Loretta, we are blessed to have you. I can genuinely relate to your story. I was there, and many of us were there,
Yeah,
right?
her first
Men and
marriage too,
women.
yeah. And
Yeah.
that's the thing that people don't talk about, Loretta. My wife speaks about it eloquently, but she literally had to leave a lot of her stuff behind. And
Mhm.
even, our oldest son, my stepson, and her first son, some of his toys, like
Yeah.
sometimes when you got to get that safe exit plan and it's time to go, you got to go. You can't worry about material items or
Mhm.
things. You're trying to be safe, secure, and peace of mind. You got to go.
Yeah. Yeah. This is so synchronistic, y'all. I was just looking at uh an interview that Drea Kelly, and I know not everybody may be crazy about her, but she really shared her story on a gentleman's podcast. And when you really hear her experience that she had with R. Kelly and the strength that she had to
Oh, okay. I didn't know who she was at first, but now okay, Drea
yeah,
Kelly, yes.
yeah. It
Oh,
was
yeah. I
profound.
know
And
she
so
went.
one of the things that she talked about, y'all, was if you, talking about that exit plan. Uh, Number one, over a period of time, think through the essentials: your kid's birth certificate, the immunization records, those things, those critical items that you're going to need, because she was talking about once you exit that, you have your children, you want to take your kids to another school district in safety. The first thing they're going to ask for is the immunization records and proof of, that you're their parent, those kind of things. Just developing that exit plan is
Mm.
essential, so that
Okay.
you won't have to go back to that environment. But yeah, getting those items, getting what's essential, what's important to get out of that situation.
So well, let's see. Take a couple more comments and stuff, and then I got a important question I want to ask you.
Okay, the mama missed
Yeah,
said,
Mama Miss.
yeah, I had to get one out of my home the 1st of October. Congratulations, sis.
Wow. Yeah. Good job, Mama.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
That
she's a powerful Aquarius woman, so I know she.
Yes,
And
yes,
and that's heavy. So when you kind of started to come on the other side and you got connected with the NDEs, um, tell us, because you got into like a book and a philosophy, and I want you
yes.
to share that with the audience, and then kind of how that took you on the healing and the spiritual journey and the awakening.
Yeah, well, the A Course in Miracles, if y'all follow my platform, I just usually open up the um the video with reading a short title of a lesson from A Course in Miracles. It's not a it's not a religious document. It is actually a course, y'all. It is a course to train our minds from fear back to love. Because guess what I was doing, Eric? Every relationship that I was entering into, I was meeting the same man in a different body, the
Oh, wow.
same energy in a different body. And I had to recognize
Mm,
I got to heal not only my heart, but my mind.
mm.
There is something going on that I don't think that I am worthy of a loving relationship. I keep meeting the same
So
energy.
you were recycling those patterns of sort of this archetype of this narcissistic, controlling, manipulative
Yeah,
man over and over. Yeah.
yes. So the course, what it does is we have been conditioned, y'all, all of our life, right? We've been conditioned all of our life into a certain pattern of behavior. The first conditioning program is the home life, the family, right? As children, you're absorbing everything. You know how babies take, we absorb everything. So if it's a whatever the home life, the dynamic is, you're absorbing that. Television, even sometimes religion, not all, the school system. I'll give an example.
Yeah.
In the school system, when my kids were in elementary school, I found out that the teachers, if they were late for class, the teachers would have them come up and write on the chalkboard a math problem that they might not have known. And so what was that? That's humiliation, right?
Mm.
Those kind of conditioning programs that are very powerful
And they
early
chip away
on.
at your self-esteem and your self-worth.
Absolutely. And so that continues, y'all. And so what the Course in Miracles does is, it number one is channeled from Jesus or Yeshua.
Yeah.
Okay. And there are beautiful lessons like, um, you are as God created you, or
Mm.
love created you like itself, or you are the light of the world. Like, where else do we hear these beautiful, and it's channeled. So this isn't just airy fairy language,
Yeah.
where we get to hear, this is who you are.
Yeah.
You are the light of the world. You are love because love created you. Those kinds of conditioning programs, conditioning us back into love and the truth of the divine beings that we are. And so that's why I'm in love with the course. But I definitely am a strong believer that all roads lead to the mountain, right? All roads, I mean, I have a painting of Buddha behind me, so all roads lead to the mountain. But whatever we can absorb to get us back to right thinking, right? To where we can chip away at those things, those humiliation practices that we endured, so that we can be back into the truth of the love that we are. So, yeah.
I, I love that. So now I just thought of two different questions. So one, with your family, your mother and your siblings, how did they receive and accept, or did they accept this new spiritual energy and viewpoint from Miss Loretta?
Well, Eric, I was always the weird one. Okay.
Okay.
I was always different. Always. It really wasn't a shocker, honestly, for my family. Yeah, I was always different. So, but they definitely were relieved, right? When I got out of that
Yeah.
bad marriage. So that's where that process occurred, because I had to transform and alchemize out of that energy. So I wanted to talk about, though, all of our experiences, right? Like, we opened this up by saying that we would like to encourage and invite everyone, all spiritual experiencers, to share their voices. One of the things that I was thinking about, Eric, before we came on the show, was the wisdom that is being lost if people of color are not sharing their spirituality,
Yeah.
right? We're rooted in our experience in the church, and that serves a purpose.
Yeah.
But how many of us have prophetic dreams?
Yeah.
How many of us have seen others who have transitioned?
Yeah.
How many?
Spirits from the other side. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yes. How many of us can see people and sense, oh, this person's, they're about to transition in a while. I can feel it, right? This is where we come from. This is the experience that we come from. And somewhere we just felt like we had to hold it within us. It was something we couldn't share. It was something that was wrong.
Or
And
that it's a sin or demonic.
exactly.
And that's, yeah, and that's not, because even Yeshua talks about these different spiritual gifts, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And so I think what you're saying is so powerful, because for us melanated folks, and really for everybody, right? But I mean,
Mhm.
obviously we're talking about really, Black people, but just, Asian, Latino, like everybody, natives, indigenous, and, and my Caucasian brothers and sisters. It's important because we see, right, white folks everywhere in the spiritual space speaking their truth.
Yeah.
And sometimes, even for me, I'm like, well, where's the brown folks? Like, I know that they, we have it. So share with us, because you've interviewed some amazing people
Yeah.
on your platform, including this guy named Eric Taylor, who was in coma for 40 days. But
Yeah.
share some of your experiences and what you've gained from holding this safe space for people, and some of the unique stories and things that people have shared with you.
Yeah, I mean, we have beautiful spiritual information to share. I'll reference one gentleman, young man, who also what his childhood was rough, and he jumped out of a moving vehicle
Ooh.
and was greeted by two powerful angels, and he had a conversation with God, and he was actually terrified. He was terrified. He was just like, God, hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me go back. Let me get my stuff together, and then we can talk. And God was like, no, come on, let's talk now, And it was such a beautiful story. Shout out to Chris Batts. He's
Wow.
actually one of the young men that's going to be on Sean Letter's Black History Month
Okay.
show
Yeah.
that you're co-hosting.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
going to be. Yeah, this is going to be powerful on
yeah,
Saturday, February 22nd. Sean Lether and I will be, hosting. I'm co-hosting with him. It's his group, but he is really opening up for his group. He has the Hawaiian IAMS group, and he has decided and to share and bring out a lot of Black voices to share their NDEs, their spiritual transformative experiences. And I'm going to co-host with him, and he has a gentleman, and that's Chris, right? And
Chris
two
Batts.
amazing women
Yeah,
sharing their stories. And I'll be putting it here on my community page so you guys can come and attend,
yes,
because it's going to be like a 3-4 hour event on Saturday, February 22nd. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be powerful.
yes.
And
So,
Sean is just a pillar. He connected us, but he's a pillar of
yes,
knowledge and a heart of gold.
yes,
And I love how, because he is not Black or African American himself, but he has a heart and has chosen to see this need where he's like, hey, I want to share my platform and have these Black voices come out and speak the authentic truth. So, yeah,
yeah.
that's,
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad that was one of the points that I wanted to make. Um, it is not that our experiences, and then after this, I want to reference a couple of the comments we have.
yeah,
Um, our experiences as people of color are highly sought out, y'all. So, Eric, when you were saying that you're in these spiritual spaces and you're like, where are the Black and brown people? They Sean Lether, Betty Guadagno,
yeah,
they highly seek out people of color. They want to hear our experiences. They want to hear our stories. But that's why I think you and I are having this conversation collectively, Eric, so that we can encourage more and more people to step forward with their experiences and the downloads, the wisdom as a result of those experiences, so that we can convey that information to our children and to our grandchildren. I think your wife made that somebody was saying, I think she said our ancestors used the gift of storytelling to bond the generations.
yeah.
We have got to get back to this before it is lost. Yes, sis. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
It's like we have to get back to that part of our history and our legacy, so that we can share this information. And the biggest thing is being open. If our children say, I saw grandpa, and grandpa, transitioned 5 years ago, I saw him, to
Yep.
not negate that, right?
Believe them.
Validate that.
Believe them and validate it. Yes, I always
Exactly.
say that. Listen to the babies, because
Yes.
what people don't realize, Loretta, your first 7 years, you were still like in between worlds. And so, this is why, in I think it's Sweden, Finland, and Denmark, they don't send their kids to school until age 7. And people say that age of understanding is either 7 or 8, but we're here rushing our kids to school at 2, But the school system and that matrix programming, it takes away their natural spirituality and their creativity. But when your kids are, it's like the veil is still very thin for them. So they may see. I told my mother, like 4 or 5 years old, I told her, I said, that she was my second mom. And she looked at me like, she's like, oh, really? What? She's like, oh, so how was your first? I said, oh, she was very nice. And I told her straight up, and she was like, really? She listened
Wow.
to me. I still remember the
Wow.
conversation, and
Wow.
it was about 49, 50 years ago. And I remember it like it was yesterday.
Wow.
But
Wow.
I remember that my wife and I listening to our boys as they would say things. My 15-year-old, he would tell me stories about my dad who passed away, was murdered when I was 6.
Yeah.
My 11-year-old twins, they would see their, grandfather and things like that who had passed away, my dad and stuff. And so, it's so true.
Yeah, it really is. The mama miss says, I was pushed into a spiritual role after my mother passed, and I saw the different things that happened as she was transitioning. That's
Mm,
another one of those. Thank you for that. That's another one of those spiritual experiences
yeah.
where when we experience our loved ones who are transitioning, we are exposed to the different things. A lot of times they'll say, do you see grandma? They're right there. And you're like, what? I don't see, that, like you said, that veil is thinning.
Yeah.
That is a spiritual experience,
Yeah.
right? I had a lady on the show, and that was her experience. It's her mother and grandmother transitioning within like 2 weeks of each other. And then she started getting this communication from them. And I highlighted her on my show. So those are the kind of spiritual experiences that I feel that it's important to continue to share with one another. And definitely what you were saying, Eric, about the first 7 years. That's why I think it's very intentional that public schools and that whole schooling is so early in our children's lives. And when you think about it, you're sending them to a school with, at least 50% unconscious people
Hmm.
who don't know that they're God, who don't know that you are God, right? So they're being influenced by these adults who, don't know themselves who they are. The school system, the public education system is such an important. You and I were just talking about that, Eric, that if in a perfect world, we would homeschool our kids,
That's
right?
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
It,
it's such a big
it's
thing.
important. It's important. So I want you to share with people how you have experienced and integrated into your life a spiritual practice, meditation, even how you got involved with, hypnosis and Dolores Cannon. How important do you think it is for people to tap in
Yeah,
and to meditate and breath work and to have a daily spiritual practice?
yeah, it's critical, y'all. It really is critical. I was just speaking to somebody and they were like, I've had my, he said, I've had, and shout out to Bill, I've had my outward time. Now it's time for me to get my inner time.
Mm,
I know you want to talk, but you know what? I need my inner time. And I just thought that was so awesome to say. And so that's what meditation is. It's inward time, right? It's time to go within, time to we pray. Black people pray. If we don't do nothing else, we pray, right? So we pray, we express to God, but that meditation is a time for us to receive, for us to receive, from God to or source or whatever we want to call that energy of love that
mhm.
we come from. And so yeah, with the I just became fascinated, y'all, with the multidimensionality of who we are. Like Eric, you said, you are my second mother. You remembered the first mother, right? We do this over and over again. We are not our bodies, y'all. We are massive, beautiful individuations of God. So we do this over and over again. And so I just became so fascinated with unpacking that. What was I in another lifetime? And I just interviewed a young lady who's been since she was in her 20s talking to extraterrestrial beings, and she in
What?
another timeline she's a jellyfish, right? I mean, it's really fascinating who we are. So the QHHT is just an opportunity. You can go from just curiosity to saying, man, why can I not get on an elevator without freaking out? Well, you may find if you have a past life or another life regression, it doesn't have to necessarily be past,
Hmm.
where you maybe discover where you had a lifetime where you were crushed. So
Yeah.
there's nothing in this lifetime to explain why you're so claustrophobic, and revisiting that lifetime, we're actually able to heal it. And that's the beauty and the magic
Yeah.
of of past life or other life regression, is that you're able to heal, because sometimes the soul brings, it's
Oh,
bleed over from other
yeah.
lifetime, brings that trauma. We think that the soul knows everything. The soul is here to heal, y'all, as well. We forget, but the soul remembers.
That's
And
right.
so we're here to heal those other lifetimes where we've had trauma. So it's profound work. I've seen I did a session with a young lady. She was so sweet.
Mm.
We did the regression session. She counted back up. Hey Dominique, hey, you say your laughter. Uh I counted her back up, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. You're back in your body. And she opened her eyes, y'all. And she was like, you are so beautiful. And I'm like, thank you. You want some water? You need to, because you kind of got to take care of the person, make sure they're nice and grounded.
Yeah.
And she had different vision, y'all. When she was counted out of that regression, she was able to see auras on everybody.
Mm. Wow.
So she was able to see my aura, and just when like 2 weeks later, I'm like, how do you still have that she was like, yeah. She was like, I go to work, and I see everybody's different colors. And so her
That's incredible. Wow.
it's just amazing, amazing work. And that's what I love about spirituality, y'all, is we don't have to attribute everything good to an energy outside of ourselves.
Mm.
Spirituality
Speak it.
it's
Speak it.
acknowledgement, right? Of our beauty, of the God in us, and our experience is unlimited. There is no limit, y'all. There is no limit to the power that we are. I wanted to I'm looking at Jackie Washington.
Oh, yeah.
It
Wait,
says,
wait. Just so you know, my podcast, I always address it as that's Jackie Washington.
okay, okay, Jackie Washington. Uh, what are your thoughts on movement meditation as an
Mm.
option? What do you think about that, Eric? Movement meditation. I don't know
Well,
if I've
you
even
know,
heard of that.
it's so funny. I actually have never done it, but I think, well, maybe I have because I explain to my clients that it's important to do something, right? I may like meditating, toning, grounding, and earthing in nature by my tree, but Loretta or Jackie or Mama Miss, they may need to go for a walk or hike, or they may need to soak in a bathtub with crystals, or they may need to do yoga or Bikram yoga, or get in the cold tub and in the hot tub, the infrared light. Do something.
Yeah.
And so movement, and sometimes I can see it based on your
Mhm.
astrological placements. What may be better for you? I can
Mhm.
look in your second, your fourth, and sixth house, and I can say, well, you know what? With this alignment, you may need to go for walks to meditate, connect, and commune in nature.
Yeah.
You may need candlelight or fire. You may need water.
Yeah.
So the elements can really assist you in however you do it. But I
Mhm.
encourage people to do something and do
Mm.
something every day. It's like spiritual muscle, right? We work out. The best days to work out: upper body, Tuesday, Mars; lower body, hips and thighs, Thursday, Jupiter, right? Saturday is all the bones, but it's Saturn is also machine. So Saturday you could do the full body. But when you work with these planets, when you work with the map of your life, when you work with the remembrance of your soul and tap in, like Loretta said so beautifully, to who you really are,
Yeah. Yeah.
nothing can stop you. And I love what you said about the past life regression, but also, this remembrance, because we, in some ways, it can explain some of our OCD tendencies or some of our weird quirks and hangups,
Mhm.
because we don't know and can't sometimes remember what traumas
Yeah.
we experienced in one life to the next or whatever. So sometimes people really, like, they've got like these terrible fear, like, because we've all seen it growing up, like that one friend that was like, oh my God, they can't take pigeons
Yeah.
or bump or a bee. They
Yeah.
freak out,
Yeah.
or a spider,
Yeah.
if you close them in a room or you turn off the lights. Kids that sometimes are really petrified of the dark, not like a
Yeah.
little, oh, can you keep a nightlight, mommy, but like crying and
Yeah.
screaming when you turn off the lights.
Mhm.
There's something behind
Mhm.
that. And so don't just dismiss children or adults like that their little idiosyncrasies and quirks are dumb or stupid. Don't do that,
Yeah.
because they could
Absolutely.
be some real
Absolutely.
traumas that they're carrying from a previous incarnation in life.
Y'all, that Eric, that's 100% right there. And it really goes to how courageous we are, y'all, for being here. I don't care what you do. You can work at a grocery store, you can be the president of a company, no matter how large or small you think your role is. The schoolhouse they call Earth is a tough schoolhouse. There are parts of God, there are non physical beings who will not incarnate on this planet. But look at y'all. We are here, and that is real talk. This schoolhouse right here is
Oh,
not
Earth
for
School is
the
no joke.
faint.
This
It's
is the
not
Earth
for the
School is the
faint.
school of hard knocks.
Yes. And so we are courageous. You are absolutely right. We forget. Like, imagine, okay, I'm gonna say this real quick and then it's a couple of comments I
Yeah,
want.
yeah. I want you to get back to the chat.
So imagine on the other side, we have these godlike qualities, right? We're God, we're free, we're boundless, right? And we agreed to come into this lifetime, this dimension as babies, where we forget that which we are. Like, that takes tremendous, not only that, but we're in this realm where there's dense energies such as racism and sexism and all that. And but we agreed to do that. Like, y'all, really, y'all are the goats. Just have respect for yourselves and every other being around you. They can be on a high vibration and they can be on a low vibration, but they are courageous We are courageous for being here. I think that's one of the biggest things that we are in need of, is recognizing our courage and our beauty, y'all. Recognize how beautiful you are. Really, really have that self love,
Yeah.
have that acknowledgement of
Self-love
who
is our
you
key right
are.
there.
It is. I'm telling you. So Dominique, he always come with deep questions. Okay,
Okay.
he always come with deep questions. There was a question, and I can't see it on here. It's hard for me to scroll down. But he was wondering about the Bible, where it talks about, we can only live once or something like that. And I'm glad that he brought that up, because I think Black people maybe feel like religion and spirituality has to be at odds. My personal opinion of the Bible, of there's so much in it, right? And it's so many layered stories. What I always think about is when it says the King James Version, that's literally the King James Version, right? This King James, where they said, oh, we can't talk about women who are powerful beings. No, we're not having them. We can talk about them being Jezebels, but I don't like women. We got to take those chapters out. We can't talk about sexual or actual energy, right? We've got to take that out, So it's kind of one of those things where the truth is in the lies. That's my personal opinion.
Well, no, it's so deep that you're saying that because,
Yeah.
right, there's 66 books, but the Ethiopian Bible has 88 books, and then when you read like the book of Enoch or Thomas and these different, other books that are not in, and God knows how many other books are in the Vatican in the basement, right? I think that, we have gotten a lot of revelation and truth
Hmm.
coming up since probably 2012, but even more so since 2020. And a lot of this ancient wisdom is coming up to make us remember and awaken.
Hmm.
And the veil is crumbling, right, with that Pluto Capricorn that we had talked about when I was on your show. But now we're in Pluto and Aquarius, and we've seen these structures kind of crumble, whether it's
Hmm.
political, financial. Now Pluto Aquarius, we're going to have more truth. A lot of the lies, we're going to see truth about technology, crypto, science, medical, artificial intelligence, all these, the organizations like Red Cross and FEMA, right? A lot of truth is being
Hmm.
revealed. Now, it can be very uncomfortable for people, right? I don't really get into politics,
Right.
but I know that there's a lot of fear right now because
Hmm.
of the new president and some of the people that are doing stuff. But I also try to encourage people, Loretta, and I was saying it months before the election. We as a collective have got to become the president and leaders of our own lives, and don't rely on a Biden, a Clinton, a Bush, a Trump, a Harris. None of that is important, and it doesn't matter. Just like celebrity culture is dying, we
Hmm.
have got to go within
Yes.
and see our power and divinity and who we really are, and stop relying on these structures and systems, kind of like Lot's wife in the Bible, where she turned around, right? She turned to salt because she was yearning for the past. We got to wave goodbye and don't turn around.
Yeah.
That stuff will no longer serve you. We
Yeah.
are entering in the fifth dimension in the new earth, and
Yeah.
this is where that truth and the real freedom and liberation. But it's messy. The transition is wonky, so you're gonna have some wars, you're gonna have some rumblings, you're gonna have some discomfort. But right now, and I've been telling people, right, we're in a universal 9 year, it's karmic endings. We
Hmm.
have got to be comfortable with
Hmm.
being uncomfortable and embracing change, because that's where God rocks the miracles in our lives, you know?
That was beautifully, beautifully said. And I think that's the biggest thing. Whether we go to church, whether we read the Bible, whether we read A Course in Miracles, whether we meditate, whether we don't, is giving ourselves permission, no matter what color your skin is in this lifetime. Because
Yeah,
we played all the different work. My last lifetime, I was a white woman. Okay.
I know
No
that's
matter
right.
what color your skin is, to give ourselves permission to express in our spirituality in the way that we choose. There is no right way. There is no wrong way. There is no one truth. It all leads to love. There's beautiful books in the Bible that I love. Proverbs is that's it. And Psalms, quit playing on my
Yeah.
channel
Well,
when I
I,
talk to
I like
people.
Ephesians and Daniel.
You see what I'm saying? So it's all about love and what resonates. And I love the lady who referenced meditation and movement. That reference was for me, y'all, because I feel like dance is meditation.
Yes, of
Okay,
course.
spiritual
Yeah.
people, you know,
Oh,
high
back in the days
vibration.
when we used to go to the, go to the clubs, I see a lot of young folks, they like to stand around, but back, when we would go in those clubs back in the days, I would come home sweating because I'd be dancing all night, especially the house music. What? Be like, girl, I
Yes,
was there.
y'all.
So,
Yes,
you're right. It is truly so
yeah,
powerful. So I want
yeah.
to ask you, what, because I know you have not had one, but you've interviewed a lot of people, including me and Sean and many others.
Mhm.
How, what have you learned, and how has it changed your perspective when you hear about these near death experience stories? What's the overlining theme and the deeper meaning to you from Loretta's point of view?
That's a beautiful question. The biggest thing, y'all, and this is giving me chills, and this is my intention. This is my intention behind my channel is reintroducing or redefining our perception of God, source, creator, divine, whatever words are symbols of symbols. So no matter what name we give it, a lot of us grow up fearing the energy that we call God. My intention behind my platform is for us to reassess who God is. One of the people on the Black History Month, Eric, who you're going to be co-hosting with, Lee Shy Barnes, when she passed over, a Black woman, she heard a big choir singing angelic music.
Mm.
When Chris Betts crossed over, God leaned on one knee and told him, "I would like to reintroduce myself to you."
Mm.
And when I had him on my show and he said that, that just did something to my heart. It
Yeah.
just gave me this vision of this massive being who said, "This is how I love you. This is how I'm showing up for you. Let me reintroduce, like you are afraid of me. Let me reintroduce myself to you because you are important, my love."
Mm.
And that is, I always tell God, like, God, you are so cool. We got it wrong. Some of it is religion that has given it wrong to us. Some of it is the home life.
Because
You know,
God is not fear. There's no fear in God.
absolutely. Absolutely. And people feel like you gotta fear God. And so that is my intention, is for people to break away from that, because fear is constrictive, right? Love is expensive, y'all. And I'm corny on my show. I'm letting y'all know, whoever coming across my show, I literally end the show with I make every guest we do a heart. I'm corny. But it
No,
really
it's beautiful. I would, I wouldn't even think of it or say it like that because, one thing I want the audience to know, number one, you are such a great and gracious host and interviewer, but
thank you.
it's not corny. I don't even want you to say those
Okay.
words
Okay.
because what I have assessed and seen and looking and doing your natal birth chart and knowing you, there is such a purity that
Mm,
these are not just words that you say,
mm,
that you really live it. And so
yeah.
I encourage people to connect to you. And please share your it's everything's down below, but share your website or email how people can reach out to you, but also your YouTube so people can go and make sure you guys are hitting the like button now. We want to share and spread this podcast out, but share all your information if people want to reach out and contact you too.
So my email address is acim at gmail. No, ACIM sharing.
Yes.
ACIM sharing for A Course in Miracles. ACIM sharing at gmail.com. So email me, y'all, especially you spiritual experiencers, or if there's something you hear that you love, email me, y'all. I'm very responsive to the collective because I love y'all.
And tell them about the
My
podcast.
my YouTube is Loretta, Loretta Sharing Group. It's right here under my face on here, Loretta Sharing Group Podcast, and that'll take you to my channel. And so yeah, I thank you for that. That's really it, y'all. I just want to give everybody a voice. Every single person that comes, I learn from every single person who comes on the show, y'all. I see God in everybody. That is my definition of humility, is
But don't you think
recognizing.
that it's also part of your gift? Right. One of my favorite aunts was a cancer woman, and you know, when I met you, you reminded me of her, and it
Hmm,
was just like coming back home. You know what I mean? Because you have a way of nurturing and caring for your guest on your
hmm,
podcast, and even just the way you dispense language, it
hmm,
feels familiar.
hmm.
People feel safe. So that's why I think people love, like, I remember sharing my story in your podcast, and I was just like, wow, this was different. Like, I felt like, it was just like kind of like being like around the campfire or
Yeah,
being at home at Big Mama's house. You know what I mean? Like, it was just very, and that's a gift.
thank you.
That's part of your gift. And you got this Uranus and Scorpio in the sixth house. And when you said that your family wasn't surprised because you were always the rebel, the black sheep, and kind of a little weird and different, well, that's that Uranus in the sixth house in terms of like how you show up every day. You are kind of, you know, bringing that freedom and liberation and sharing it with others. That's your service to humanity,
Hmm,
breaking the social norms and fracturing the structures. And by even having this podcast and your intention with it, I find that it's really activating that placement in your chart and how you connect. And even the Neptune in the seventh house in Sagittarius connecting to the other half, and that's a gift. And so never underestimate. This is for you and everybody in the chat. And you guys, if you have any questions, please ask Loretta, and we're going to get back to the chat in a second. But that is, on the negative side, that's where maybe you were deceived a little bit in the marriage, that Neptune in the seventh house, right?
right?
But but on the
I'm a little bit naive. Yeah,
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 it happens, right? But on the positive, it shows you showing up
yeah,
for the other half,
yeah.
creating this safe space to share their truth, their wisdom, their beliefs, their philosophies. That's the Sagittarius, right? And you are kind of like that little spiritual guru and guide so people could show up authentically and really pour out their soul's journey.
Wow.
And that is pure spirituality and magic, you know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
we need more of that. And so
Wow.
thank you for what you do and sharing that with people, because you do bring that light, and it's so needed at this time, right? I mean, these are tough times.
That's so true. That is so true. Thank you so much, Eric. You are so. Let me give you your flowers real quick, real quick, real quick.
Okay. Then you
I,
got to get to the chat. I don't, you know me.
I just want to make sure, and this is again an invitation. Every black male in the spiritual space, y'all, is so desperately needed. So you showing up in a way that you do is significant. It's significant, and we need more voices, y'all. We need more voices. Step forward and share your experiences. It's needed. It's needed. So thank you. That was sweet. I'm okay with being corny, but I receive that blessing. I do. I receive that blessing. I am okay with being exactly who I am.
That's right.
But I love it. And Nina said, I love the corny, such beautiful messages. I love it.
Uh,
So let me see. Did we want to see the mama miss said, come on, classmates. Y'all are so funny. Y'all are fun. I love y'all. I love y'all. Temptress, the enchantress
hey,
says,
Temptress.
blessings, everyone. You got the coolest audience, Eric.
Yeah, no, let me tell you, these people, oh, Loretta, it almost makes me emotional because, you know, for me, my whole life, everything I've done has been to really honor my father, because I lost him at
Mm,
such a young age. He was murdered when I was 6.
wow.
From rhyming to playing sports to acting, all these different things. And then, to go to the place where I, already had my astrology business, but then in 2021 to literally, fall into coma and almost die and be in coma for 40 days, and to be on the other side and in the hospital for 85 days, and to
Wow.
be separated from my 4 sons, my mother and my wife, and then to awaken and, you know, to have my mom, transition, to die while I was in coma. Now it's like, and I don't know how many people in the chat, it's a little different dancing on the globe when both your parents are gone.
Mm,
It, I
mm,
can't explain it in the sense that you're kind of like, I'm doing this, I've got my family that I've created, my wife, my kids, but when both your parents are gone, it vibrates differently.
yeah.
But then at the same time, you realize, I know instantly my mother was, in that hospital room trying to, get me to awaken and fighting for me to come back to life,
Mhm,
and
mhm,
Archangel Raphael and all this stuff.
mhm.
But I just, I love these people because when I say knowledge is love, and this family that I've created, like,
Yeah.
I mean it. I mean, honestly, Loretta, when I come on here, because you said to me, Eric, you're brave for going live, and for some people they think it really is. For me, it's just kind of, I've always been that orator, right?
Right.
But I think in so many ways, I was forced to be brave at a young age.
Yeah.
I was forced at 6 to be the man of the house and think about my mother and my sister. I was forced to kind of like, kind of speak up and speak out and share my truth, because life was very harsh growing up.
Yeah.
And so when when I go live, one person showing up, that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
these people, like, like if they met me in person, you know what I mean? They would know, like, I don't put on no airs. Like this is Eric 24/7. Like I am a real cat. Like I'm a real dude, and I love these people. Like when I say Jackie Washington, is because I smile every time she shows up because it makes me think of
Yeah,
coming to America and it makes me
yeah.
smile. And you
I
know what I
love
mean.
that. That's
And if
so
I can bring a smile on Temptress, on Dominique, on Mama Mist, on Danny Figueroa, Evelyn, all my regulars, my OGs, Kimberly, Bella, like all these people, like there's a million channels out there. I mean, between
yeah,
television and
yeah,
streaming and YouTube,
yeah.
for someone to spend 15 minutes, let alone an hour, hour and a half with watching or hearing what I've got to say, that's
Mm,
pretty special. So I
yeah.
never take it for granted. And you know, I tell you guys, but I hope you know I love y'all. But I really do, Loretta, and I love having these conversations
Yeah.
with you. So as we get ready to wrap up, I kind of I want you to share with people what is Loretta's vision for this new earth and the steps
Ooh.
that we need to take, each individual soul
Mm.
that we need to take to create the reality that we want to exist
Mm.
for the rest of our lives beyond 2025,
Mm.
dancing,
Mm.
dancing on this earth.
That is a juicy question. I love that question. I love that question. As you ask that question, a few things. First of all, the new earth, the fifth dimension, which we're already in, right?
Okay.
Uh, as we're talking about the education system, here is my vision, y'all. And orating it, speaking it is the highest level of visioning, right? So I'm going to speak it, y'all. My vision of us educating our children in the fifth dimension is down the street, the gentleman who plays guitar, we send our kids an hour there.
Mhm.
Up down the road, the woman who's excellent at math, she teaches for another hour. Another hour, we're taking the kids out to the park and engage with the fairies and the trees, right?
Mhm.
Listening to nature. Schooling is different
Yeah.
in the new earth. Schooling is different. Another new earth vision for me is trading and bartering.
Yeah.
During a time with Yeshua, everybody was an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Everybody was self-employed. So I need some broccoli. You grow broccoli. Come over here. I'll knit you some clothes, and we will trade and barter and support ourselves and one another in that way, right?
Yeah.
Getting back to our talents and our gifts. One of the
Mm.
comments was about us having our gifts. Another new earth vision is ailments and illnesses being cured through Gaia, right?
Mm.
Through the food. Food is medicine. Through the food.
Yes.
I read somewhere that dandelions, we go through great strains to get those weeds out, but they actually have medicinal value, right?
Yes. Oh, the weeds and the dandelion, all of it. All
That's
of it.
how we used to do, y'all. We
Yeah.
used to go out and heal ourselves from Gaia, from Mother Earth. It wasn't big pharma, right? That's fifth dimensional. Fifth dimensional stuff is talking to trees. Or
Yes.
like you were talking about, Eric, where you're not rushing your kid, your 5 year old to school, but you're letting your 5 year old tell you. You're not telling that 5 year old that's a tree. You let that 5 year old tell you what that is.
Yeah.
Us telling a child that's a tree, what does that tell them? We don't even know what does that mean?
Yeah.
As opposed to them looking at that like, wow, this massive being who has been here many lifetimes, who's been here before we were here, This
And they're sentient. The trees are sentient beings.
absolutely.
And the plants, they just came out. This is how I laugh. Science is always catching up to spirituality. They just came release some scientific studies that just like the animals, like a dog, that our plants can sense when we are just like about a mile away from our home, that they perk up, that they can feel our
Mm.
vibration and frequency. That is incredible.
Oh
You know what I mean? Just
man.
like cats can see our aura and they can see spirits around us. That's why they were so powerful in ancient Kemet, because a cat would be, the one to ward off the bad spirits. Like we have got to, I love it. We've got to commune. And when you said the broccoli, I was laughing because that's what I always tell the audience, right? If I've got strawberries and blueberries and you got, broccoli and tomatoes or whatever, or broccoli and zucchini, then we both got fruits and vegetables because we can trade.
And
Barter.
going back to organic, y'all. I
Yes.
mean, I've had people really mock me because I'm big on organic. Do we understand what
They,
people
they must be crazy. If they're mocking you, then they don't really understand what they're putting in their bodies.
okay, okay. It matters, y'all. It
Of course it
matters. It
does.
really it matters.
Instead of
And
spending money on that watch or that car and the Versace, spend your most money on the stuff you put in your mouth, your boca.
mouth into your body. Okay, all these C words, right? All these cancers popping up, that has come up from over years and years of exposure.
Oh yeah.
So, y'all, this is a good challenge for your audience, Eric, is
Okay.
for us all to think about what does the fifth dimension, what does the new earth look like? What does currency look like? Currency
Ooh,
is our vibration. One of the things that occurs is we equate our value with how many numbers are on our bank account or how many pieces of green paper that we have in our purse. That is not our value, y'all.
no,
Your
means nothing.
value is your frequency. Your
Yeah.
value is the level of love. Your value is the blocks that you have removed to let the light in.
Yeah.
Um,
I love
what
that.
does the fifth dimension look like? Put in the comments. What does the fifth
Yeah.
dimension
And you
look
guys,
like? Yeah.
please, as we wind down and we get off, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. But please share this and go follow Loretta Sharing Group on YouTube. But please come back and in the comments, put down how you envision the new earth. Don't leave it in the chat. Come back and put it in the comments. I want to see
Yeah.
everybody's comment,
Yeah.
how they would envision the new earth. That's beautiful. I love that.
Yes. Yeah, that was a beautiful question. Thank you for that question. Nina said too many chemicals in the food.
Oh, yes.
Definitely need to get back to growing our own and helping each other. Yes, that was one of the
And,
other
and,
things.
and guess what, Loretta? That's what I
Mhm.
love about my wife, Sabale Pure. She makes organic and vegan body and skincare. It's not just the chemicals in the food, more so the women and the men, but just everybody, right? The deodorant, the makeup, the perfumes, the this,
Yes.
the that. It
Yeah,
doesn't
that's so
stop.
true.
The
That's
laundry
so
detergent, the dish soap, the regular soap,
so
the
true.
toothpaste. They put. Oh my God. They put so much chemical. The fluoride, not only does it mess up your pineal gland, but it is so terrible for your body and weakens and damages your teeth, right? You need diatomaceous earth. You need the xylitol. We have got to be so intentional,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
read our ingredient list and
Yeah.
stop putting the chemicals on and in your body, you know?
Facts. Sabali said, I followed you, Loretta. Thank you.
Uh,
Shout out, shout out to your wife.
thank you.
I'm gonna say, y'all, the way the way Eric and his wife work together and honor each other. I mean, I know that Eric does. They do relationship. It is felt, the respect, the honor, the teamwork. It is so beautiful to
Thank
observe,
you.
y'all.
Thank
I
you.
just I love it. And Sean Lether met y'all, right?
Yeah.
From
Yeah. He got my wife's home cooking because she could cook.
and he still talk about y'all children, how
Oh,
respectful your children are, your relationship that you have with your children. That is what I'm talking about. Just having a family centered around love and God.
we try our best. I swear we try
Yeah,
our best.
yeah, I love it.
Some days we're better than others, but you thank you for that. But it is our intention because I remember the steps, and that's part of my relationship coaching program, you guys, on my website, BigEAstro.com, Elevate to Love. I remember, Loretta, the steps that I had to take to match the vibration and frequency to be able to receive and connect to this beautiful woman that is my wife, Alana
Mhm.
Taylor. And she was doing the same work on the other side. She was in Colorado. I was in New York. We met through Match.com.
Wow.
Yeah. And so back in the days when it wasn't so cool to meet online, right? It was 2011. And I can tell, I mean, I'm sorry, 2007.
Wow.
2007. And so we're going up this June will be 17 years of marriage. But
Wow.
when I tell you, like, I had to say, Eric, you're not doing it right. You're not doing the right thing. You could go on this loop of dating women over and over and over,
Hmm.
or you can stop, be still, commune with God, and really sit down and say, who are you, but who do you want to energetically match and connect with? And
Mhm.
so I sat down, and this is what I have my clients do. And I sat down and I wrote a list of archetypes and character traits. And then I sat down and I crossed off 5 each week. And I got down to just 5. And I said to God, if I can, if God, you will allow me to meet a woman that just has these 5 traits,
Hmm.
right? Patience, sense of humor, attractive, funny, like all these different things, and
Hmm.
if I can just get these 5, I will be satisfied and content, and I will honor her for the rest of my days. And when you really can commit to that, God will give you daggone near that entire list. Okay, because
I'm
in
holding.
my wife, I got way more than the 5 that I was willing to receive and accept, and
Wow.
that's the power. When see what happens is human beings, we get so caught up in the primal and the carnal.
Yeah.
Oh, the minute you get hungry, you got to put food in your mouth. No, you don't.
Right.
Be
Come on.
hungry.
Come on.
Be hungry for a little bit.
Come on.
Sit with that. Be still. Be quiet.
Mm.
Be patient. Don't go for instant gratification. Candy is not a meal. Be patient, right? Like my wife, she will take her time with each meal. She nurtures and cooks. The love is in every meal she makes. I tell
Mm.
people like I am the most spoiled man on earth. Like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh. And so, but that's what it takes. So for all of you out there who are really looking for love, I do. I mean, I'm not bragging. I do encourage you to look on my website and my Elevate to Love because the first love, I had to love Eric first.
There you Pooh. Speak it.
If I
Speak
didn't
it.
love Eric, the good, the bad, the ugly, and do the
Right.
shadow work,
That's right.
it's
That's
not
right.
all sweet puppies and candy and flowers. You got to look in there, look at the kidneys, look at your liver. You got to look inside and be like, "Ooh, I got to fix that," and "Ooh, I got to stop drinking." Ooh, maybe I shouldn't smoke that blunt. Ooh, I got to. You got to be real
Oh, that's right.
because if you cannot say I love you, Eric. I
Mhm.
love you, Loretta. I love you, Michael. I love you, Jennifer. I love you, Alana. I love you, Mama Mist. I love you, Temptress. I love you, Dominic. If you cannot say to yourself and get in the mirror and say that you love yourself, then you are not ready to love another.
I love that.
You are not. And then you will not receive that equally yoked, right? As we say in the Bible, you will
Mhm.
not get that energetic match. You'll
Mhm.
keep getting the boyfriend or the girlfriend. You're not going to get the husband or the wife.
Mm. Mm. Nina said that gives me hope, Big E. And Nina, it gives me hope too. I've
Yeah,
been waiting for my divine, but in the meantime, I'm being in love with myself.
that's
I
right.
want to add to what you were saying, Eric. I do want to say this because this is the truth of a universe. Is be the person that you want to meet. We are unable to meet someone that is on a different vibration than we are, especially in romance.
Yeah,
So if you find that you are in a relationship or you keep meeting someone that is not kind to you, be kind to yourself and be kind to others. A lot of us walk around with unhealed traumas
yeah.
and hurt
People.
people. If you have not healed, y'all, if we don't, and especially in the black community, we have, y'all know, I ain't even gotta say, y'all
Yeah,
know how
I
rough
know.
we know, right? Heal those traumas, right? And it looks different for everybody, right?
Oh yeah,
Sometimes it could be therapy, sometimes it could be, prayer, sometimes whatever that looks like, but acknowledge it, like you said, Eric, doing that shadow work. It takes the light and the dark, y'all. If it wasn't for the dark, I would not know anything.
yeah.
I know that I would not have wisdom. The darkness has a purpose as well, but healing yourself so that you can meet the person, you got to be the person that you want to meet. You can't find somebody that vibrates on a higher frequency than you are. So that's what I know to be true, um, in terms of romance. Yeah, so just healing ourselves and loving ourselves. You got to love yourself. You have to forgive yourself. You
And don't you feel like it's about when you do that, you are respecting God even more because God made you. So how dare you not love yourself
Yeah,
and be your true authentic
right.
self?
That's right.
That's I think honestly, there's no ranking of sins, but gosh, that's got to be a big one
Yeah,
because to
yeah,
not love yourself and not to be who you are, authentically you, that's it right there. That's the
that's
key.
right.
It
That's right.
really is. It's that simple.
Right.
Love yourself and be you.
And if
You
you
go ahead
don't,
and be corny, Loretta, and I'll go ahead and be weird and rhyme and do comedy
yeah,
characters and break it.
yeah, that's authenticity. That is, and it's refreshing to people.
Yeah.
Your rhyme was so high in vibration, being authentic, being who you are, being who you are, right? uh we let's give ourselves permission to be who we didn't come here to try to match somebody else. We came here to be that which we are. So y'all are beautiful. This has been so much fun.
Oh,
I want to do this a lot.
it was a pleasure.
I want to do this a lot. This was fun, y'all.
It was a pleasure. So
It
you
was.
guys, please go follow Loretta Sharing Group. Oh, tell them. Did you tell them your IG too?
Instagram, Loretta underscore sharing group. And sharing group is one word, SHARINGROUP. Facebook, Loretta Sharing Group. I tried to make it easy, y'all. YouTube, Loretta Sharing Group. So yeah, again, email address ACIM sharing at gmail.com. Email me every single comment that y'all make under my videos. I respond to. They light up my heart, y'all.
Yeah.
They really
I
do.
do the same thing. I
Yes.
try not to miss one comment. It may take me a few days or like sometimes a week. Do you know, and I got to say this just in passing. Do you know it took me a couple years, but I had to go back and respond to every person. There were so many.
Okay.
When I got sick and was
You
in
were.
coma, the comments, Loretta, were, I mean, a list was so
Wow.
long. It literally, I was still in 20, I finished it in 2024, but it took me 3 years to go back through and thank each person
Yeah.
for the well wishes and prayers. And I did it. And like it took like,
It's a
everything
lot.
out it, but I did it. And I literally thanked every single
Yeah.
person that prayed for me, that sent healing energy, that like just the love. And it was really humbling.
Yes. I love that. I love that. It really does mean a lot, y'all. Like everybody in a like this is beautiful. I've never actually seen this on a live. You have love. People love you.
Thank you.
Mommy Miss, I'm gonna Nina said, "And Mommy Miss, I'm gonna follow you. I'm
Yeah.
gonna follow every single person on these comments." But thank you so much for inviting me to this beautiful community you have going on here, Eric. I love what you are
It was
doing.
my pleasure. So you guys, listen. Last little. I gotta give you a couple announcements. Please come back Thursday for episode 300. I will be with legendary astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn as we talk about Black historical figures
Mm,
and look at their numerology and astrology. And I'm talking about the OGs: Frederick Douglass, Benjamin Banneker, Shirley Chisholm. We gonna get deep on y'all.
oh,
It's gonna be
that's juicy.
so. I mean, and many more, but it's gonna be so much fun. And Lloyd is just a wealth of knowledge and a true. He's an icon and legend. And yeah, I can't wait for that. And then on Friday, I'll be releasing a podcast with Miss Jessica Gillespie, who is a publicist, an actress. She's been on The Shy, on Law and Order, some independent films. So we gonna have. She's a creative and a Pisces. That's gonna be coming out Friday, and then I'll be live again, Loretta, Sunday night with Miss Jazz Aphrodite, and
Wow.
she's connected with Lloyd. She is, um, first of all, she Trini. She a Trini gal. But
Okay,
all
okay.
right. So I had to get to the islands too. But she is a musician. She plays the steel, I think the steel pan or the steel drums. She is an author and a numerologist, and she's going to be doing live readings
Wow.
about. But this is what's cool: helping people with where they live, their address, their apartment, their home, their location. Based on your numerology, she can give you insight on what's the best place for you to actually live or go on a vacation to. So we're gonna have some fun. I
Wow.
got
I
the
love that.
whole month is just loaded, but that's this week. And then you got to come Sunday morning. Sunday, 12 noon, this Sunday, February 16th, legendary icons. I am doing my astrological coffee talk with Eric. It's 2 hours, only $22. I'm teaching a lesson, Loretta, on the natal birth charts of Michelle Obama and Nina Simone. So
Wow.
you could just email me, Eric at BigEAstrology.com, and you could pay with Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, only $22. If you can't make it live, you could still pay and get the recording, videos of their placements, their charts. Because Nina Simone, Pisces, deep sister, super talented and a rebel, and Michelle Obama. We all know about Michelle Obama. So Capricorn, right? So, I encourage people to come and just I thank everybody. It's not just for Black folks. Anybody, I got plenty of my
Right,
Caucasian people have already signed up too.
right.
So come to Coffee Talk. But I just thank everybody for this. I'm going to do this every February now, but it was my intention to do it this year. And so
Yeah.
far, it's been amazing. And guess what I'm doing, Loretta? I got to tell you while you're here. I am going to also interview this month, you guys, my three sons that still live at home with me. My oldest son, he's not too into astrology, so that's okay. But my three boys, my Gemini 15-year-old and my Leo twins, my 11-year-olds, I'm going to do podcast interviews with them. I'm not going to do live. That's going to be too much for them. But I am going to record it, and we'll be doing that probably next week. So those will be coming out in February too. And then, of course, I end the month, Friday, February 28th, with Mrs. Alana Taylor, the Ballet Pure. So she's going to be an official guest. So this is just it's a beautiful month, and I'm excited. And you made it even more better tonight, my friend.
You got it, Eric. Listen, you got it popping. Okay, you weren't running around like a 20-year-old. Wow, that's amazing.
I'm working hard this month. It's busy.
Beautiful that you are having your sons on.
That's gonna be something, right?
What better guest, right, than our beautiful, amazing, unconditioned youth?
Yeah.
With so much to share and so much to teach. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that.
I can't wait. I can't wait. And I was inspired by a friend, and I've been on her podcast, and she was on mine, Tammy Fellows. And she, on her podcast, it's called Tammy Tuesday. She's a sweet woman. And we actually met here in Arizona. Her son and my son were, in the same soccer league. But she, on her podcast, she interviewed, because she's got, I think, 3 or 4 sons too, and she interviewed her boys. And I was like, that's a great idea. You capture them at that time as they're growing in life, and later on, they'll be able to watch it and look back at themselves. Yes. But it's also a deep thing for the audience. It's just beautiful. And I was like, Tammy, that was great.
Yeah.
And then I said to my wife, I said, that's what I want to do for Black History Month. I want to interview my boys.
Yes.
So I can't wait. So you guys are in for a treat, because they are some interesting human beings.
I love it. Hey, Laura. Laura Moore said, hi, everyone.
Hey,
it's on and popping.
Yeah. So remember, you guys, as we're getting ready to say goodbye and sign off, please come back in the chat. Make sure you hit the like button, as they say, smash that like button, and subscribe here to BigEAstro and to Loretta Sharing Group. But write down in the comments, what is your vision for the new earth?
What is your vision?
Yeah. How do you see it? How would you want it to be? How would you create it? Share that, please.
And as we speak it, as we express it,
yes, that's
so
how it's
shall we manifest it, y'all.
That's right. So
it is our vision. We get to determine what that looks and feels like, y'all. That's powerful.
That's your homework from Mama Loretta.
Yes, honey. Yes.
So write it in the comments, please. All right.
Yes.
All right, you guys. I love you. Thank you so much. And I'll see you Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. And Loretta, this has been an amazing episode.
This has been beautiful.
299. That's beautiful.
You got to have me on again.
Oh, you already know.
Hearts up, y'all. Throwing the hearts up.
Listen, you're going to have to come back. I think it may be around your birthday. That may be
okay. Yes. Yeah, you just can't tell my birthday. But it'll be in June.
Say it again. What? We can't what?
You can't say when it is, but it.
Oh no, we don't have to say when it is. I'm just saying around the birthday season.
Yeah.
I already know you're a Cancer, so it'll be around that time.
Yeah. Okay. I can't wait. Love y'all.
All right,
love
you guys.
y'all.
Thank you for watching.
Hey, Faye. Love y'all.
All right. Knowledge is Love, Astrology Podcast, episode 299 with the amazing Loretta. Bye.